that, Justin. All that energy. That's what we needed. So for all of us, this is brand new. It's our first advisory committee meeting. And we are, all of us, new to this and with a lot of expectations of doing great things. So please feel free to give any feedback, advice, talk about anything that you feel will be relevant. And even if it doesn't seem relevant, to just join us for that. So anyway, I first should have introduced myself. So I am Dr. Janice Sullivan, Dean of Community Engagement at San Jacinto College. And under that is where community, all the community education programs are hosted, including education and lifelong learning in all summer camps. And we have with us our chair person of this committee, who is Katie Chenisi from Harris County Public Health. Yes, Katie. So, Katie, do you want to tell us about you?
Yeah, I would love to. And I'm, very excited about this opportunity. So just so you guys know, I've been working with Dr. Sullivan now for approximately 7 years in the Pasadena community. And, we've become such good friends that now I just can't say no to her. It's that kind of friendship. And so being that I'm on another committee at San Jacinto College that she is also a part of, she just thought, well, how logical that, Katie already knows how these committee things go. Let's invite her to be the chair. And of course, I can't say no to Dr. Sullivan. So that is how I ended up in this position. So I apologize in advance. I will seek guidance from you guys if a member of other committees and think I could be doing things differently. I would greatly appreciate it. But my name is Katie Chenisi. I am actually co-director of a childhood obesity prevention initiative out of Harris County Public Health that is called Healthy Living Matters, which is why we ended up doing so much work in the Pasadena community as of 7 years ago, because we really wanted to see a decrease in those numbers of children who were entering school at an unhealthy weight. And we definitely did not want to see any of those kids unhealthy as adults. And so since then, I've forged beautiful relationships with Dr. Sullivan, with Laura, with Raul. Justin, I've seen you at multiple. Yes. We take advantage of your awesome library for our meetings. So I'm very excited to be a part of this group and hopefully guide some of the conversations, because as I've learned from Dr. Sullivan and her team, these committees have to be run by somebody other than a staff member of San Jacinto College. And so that's why this group is together, and all the decisions and the voting will happen from this group. Mm-hmm. So we'll go into a little bit of that. And Ashley, I believe we have a PowerPoint slide that we will show that'll guide the conversation today. But now that Dr. Sullivan and I have introduced ourselves, we would love to first of all ask the rest of the San Jacinto College team to introduce themselves, and then we'll open it up to the rest of the committee members. So Laura, what we're going to ask you guys all to provide us with your name, your title, the organization that you represent. And since we're going to be talking about lifelong learning today, please name one thing that you would like to learn at this stage in your life. Mm-hmm. Laura, would you like to get us started? Laura, you're muted, Laura, if you're sharing.
No sound. It seems like Laura.
Oh, it's okay, Laura. We'll have you put it in the chat. You'll put it in the chat. All right, we'll move on to Ashley. And you're muted as well.
I found it. It's
okay.
Fine. My name's Ashley Lund. I work at the Central Registration Office here at San Jacinto College for Community Engagement. And one thing I'd like to learn in my life, I'm actually doing right now, I'm learning my mother's native language. I'm learning Vietnamese. So.
Wonderful. Okay. All right, I'll move on to Miss Aminta.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Aminta Rodriguez. I work at the CPD registration office. One thing that I would like to do if I could, I would like to learn ballroom dance.
Great.
Very nice. All right. Any other San Jacinto College staff I might have missed?
I am Linda. My name is Linda Navahar. I am the Senior Administrative Assistant to Dr. Sullivan. And I would like to learn to quilt.
Great.
All right. So now I'm going to go by the faces that I see. So the next one is Raul.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Raul Camarillo, and I'm the Pasadena Community Liaison for Harris County Precinct 2 Commissioner Adrian Garcia's office. And so I'm a rookie. This is barely my first month in this position. I've been with the department at least 2 years now, but I've been with Harris County for getting close, a total of 30 years in 4 different departments. And one of the things I would like to learn at this stage of my life is how to play the accordion.
Okay.
Very nice. All right. Next, I see Miss Stephanie.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Stephanie Carazal. I am the coalition coordinator, Pasadena coalition coordinator for Bay Area Council on Drugs and Alcohol on the Partnerships for Success grant. And one of the things I would like to learn, there's so many, to sew, speak more Spanish. I feel like I could always learn more. Photoshop, like there's so many things I would like to learn. But thank you for inviting me. I'm excited. Thank you.
All good ones. All right, next, I see Jeffrey.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jeffrey Reich Hale. I am a 25-year hospitality veteran who's now a serial entrepreneur, is what I like to call myself. I own Unique and Fresh Consulting, a sales and marketing consulting company that do hospitality and development construction. And I also am the proud owner of Jelvin's Candy Shop, a charity candy store where 60% of our profits go to the AIDS Foundation of Houston and to Barrio Dogs. And I have lots of other things in my head that I'm going to be working on as well. Best thing I ever did was go out on my own 2 years ago. So, and I'm involved in 5 different networking groups all around the greater Houston area. And thing I want to learn is Spanish. I wish I took Spanish in high school instead of French. Biggest waste of my time. No offense to any French person, but I look forward to the day that's maybe San Jacinto offers an actually structured class of Spanish, because I need a structured class.
Yes.
All those other little avenues that you can do just don't work for me. I need to, yeah. So that's me.
Perfect.
Well, you're getting ahead of the game, Jeffrey, because we're going to be
Yes.
talking about that later, but I'm
Yes.
for you.
Yes.
So cool. I used to work for AIDS Foundation Houston. So exciting to hear about the profits going towards that organization. They're amazing.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
The name of my shop is Jelvin's Candy Shop. I'll put everything in the thing. Sorry.
Perfect.
Great.
All right. Next, I see Justin.
Hi, everybody. I am Justin Brasher. I am the programming, I'm the community programming manager for Pasadena Public Library. So any of our big events pre-COVID, book sale, comic book convention, stuff like that, I am your person. Any partnerships that you're looking to do, I am also the person to see. What I'm trying to learn right now, honestly, the thing I'm really trying to learn right now is my girlfriend's really into the K-pop band BTS, and there's like 7 members, and I'm trying to learn all their names, but they all change their hair color and their hairstyle so often that by the time I've learned the difference between Jimin and Jungkook, they've changed outfits, and I'm back at square one. It's horrible. In terms of things I would like to learn, I would like to improve my Spanish. But for those who are not familiar with me, prior to libraries, I used to be an actor in California.
Oh.
During the pandemic and whatnot, I've had a lot of friends who've, they are still in LA. They've kind of shifted over from traditional acting into voice acting. And I've kind of felt like I have wanted to explore that as well. So learning how to get into more voice acting work has been my primo goal for 2021, fingers crossed.
Justin, that is so cool. Do you have an IMDb page that we can check out?
Most of my work has been like extra work.
Okay.
But if you'd like, I can send you a link to. I was my two claims to fame. I was in Pirates of the Caribbean 2 and 3. And,
Oh my God.
Oh.
I'm this weird awkward guy in the corner, and I also get punched in the face behind Johnny Depp. It's really cool to be like freeze frame. That's me getting punched in the face right there. It's not much, but I like it.
That's so cool.
Thank you for sharing.
Sure.
Jamila, you're next.
Hello, I'm Jamila Reed. I work for Texans Recovering Together underneath the Harris Center as a child crisis specialist. And again, like everyone else, I have a lot of things that I want to learn, but one thing that I really want to learn is how to play piano.
Great.
You and Dr. Sullivan.
Yes. So we have
Earlier.
2 students for that class then.
Yeah. See, I feel like we're going to make a band like at the end of this whole process. We got the accordion, the piano. I'm just saying.
I was just
All right, next I see Arlene.
That's great.
Or Arlene. I'm sorry if I'm butchering anybody's name.
Hi, everyone. My name is Arlene Hernandez. Can y'all hear me? Yes?
Yes.
Thumbs up? Okay, excellent. So my name is Arlene Hernandez. I'm a Workplace Solutions Officer for BBVA, which means, and I apologize, we can't be on Zoom on our work laptop. So I grabbed my husband's iPad and I don't know where the camera's at. So, and I can't see myself. So if I'm like speaking, but it doesn't look like I'm speaking to the camera, I'll get it worked out next week when I figure out how to Zoom, on a iPad. But Workplace Solutions is pretty much like business development. I am also the president of our Houston volunteer chapter. I take a lot of honor in that because we're looking for volunteer opportunities. And one of our great volunteer opportunities that we did was with the SHORE program and their entrepreneurs, where we mentored them. Our lines of businesses mentored each, entrepreneur. And then at the end, they did like this Shark Tank, business pitch. And so it was really a great thing to be a part of. I'm so excited to be a part of this group. Thank you, Laura and Miss Janice. I've known y'all for quite some time, and I'm just so humbled that y'all reached out to me. One thing that I want to learn is actually to play golf, because my husband knows how to play golf and the kids are getting older, and I'm very competitive and I want to go out and, play golf with him. So living in Deer Park, we have a, battleground right here. I want to enjoy our, time as we get older playing golf.
Great.
So really what I'm hearing is you want to learn so that you can beat him at
Right. Yes.
You pick that up?
Yeah.
I tell him all the time, I want to beat you. So.
So couple things, Arlene. You look great. We can see you. So that's good.
Yes.
And Katie, that would be great to add to our list, goal for women. Because the problem is that we have more trouble learning when men are already so competitive and they already know. Like when I was trying to learn it, my husband was telling me like the birdie, and I was like, what birdie? I just don't know what you're talking about. But if we learn the basics, so then we can prepare and then beat them. And then we will get them unprepared because they think we don't know anything.
Yes, exactly. All right, the next person I see is Lieutenant Luis Villa, and I'm sorry, I can only see half of your last name, sir.
It's Villanueva. So my wife and I, we are both pastors over the Salvation Army, and we serve all East Harris County. This is our 4th year here, but the Salvation Army has been here for at least more than 100 years. And so we are very excited of the opportunity to be part of this round table of a lot of wonderful people. And what we do over the Salvation Army, we're trying to help as much as we can the community with resources that are coming from the same community. Right now, because of the pandemic, the thing that we're helping the most is with food. So we're doing mass distributions every week. We have food pantries. We have things for the homeless. We serve the seniors with our Meals on Wheels programming. And also we have food boxes. So it's a lot of things that we do over at the Salvation Army. That's a few things that we do, but I'm excited to be part of this meeting. Thank you for the invitation. And something I would like to, I don't know to offer right now, but I do play the guitar, I do play the piano, and I do play a little bit of accordion because my dad used to play all those instruments. So I don't know how we can do that, but if anybody wants a little bit of a direction on that, but I would love to learn a little how to program computers. I love computers, and I would love to pick it up a little bit of a programming, how to program, softwares or something like that. It will be, kids nowadays, they do apps right now, apps in the app store. They just really quick, they develop these apps, and it's fabulous. So I think that that's something I would love to learn.
It's either apps or the TikTok videos, right? All right, wonderful. And I think the last person I see, Miss Gloria, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I have my video off because I'm taking care of a sick grandbaby, but I'm happy to be in the meeting today. I work for San Jacinto College in the Continuing Professional Development Department. I am the site coordinator for the North Campus. We're located over on Uvalde, 5800 Uvalde. So I think maybe if I wanted to tell something that I want to learn, it will be Spanish. I work with a Spanish speaker for almost 14 years, and I don't have it down yet, but I'm still striving to learn more Spanish.
Miss Gloria, I'm happy you said yet.
Yeah.
We must never give up these goals.
Right.
Wonderful. Well, again, welcome all. We're really happy that you guys were able to make the time to be with us today. And then we really hope that at the end of this meeting, you will continue to be excited to be a part of this group, and we'll see you time and time again in our subsequent meetings. So I am now going to ask to switch to the next slide, please. And then we will turn it over to, we're going to watch a very quick video that's a nice introductory video on San Jacinto College, and then we'll go into the rest of the meeting. So without ado.
Choosing the right college is a big decision, and with so many options out there, it's not easy knowing what school is best for you, which is why you should get to know San Jacinto College, because whatever you're into, we've got you covered.
I'm into helping people look their best.
I'm into becoming a world-class chef.
I'm passionate about helping others.
Whether you're just starting out,
I'm taking my core classes to transfer,
or coming back for new skills,
San Jac is a perfect place to advance my career.
We offer more than 200 degrees and certificates, from fine arts, STEM, and manufacturing to maritime transportation and so much more. San Jacinto College gives you the tools you need to reach your goals and achieve your dreams.
I've always wanted to start a business.
I'm into building my future.
Plus, we have flexible schedules, convenient locations, and a simple tuition plan. In other words, everything you need to succeed. To learn why San Jacinto College is right for you, visit sanjac.edu. San Jacinto College, we're into your success.
Laura, out of curiosity, was that your voice narrating that video? It sounded a lot like you.
It sounded a lot like Laura's, but it wasn't Laura's, but you're right, Katie. It will be the next video,
All right.
Actually, I'm going to be doing one in Spanish in Univision in March. So then you will hear my voice.
Okay. Wonderful. And if anybody wanted to share this video through their networks or with partners, is it available on the website or on the YouTube page?
It is available on YouTube, it's available on our website, and we will be happy to send the link also so all of you guys have it. If you want to share it, it's wonderful. I think it gives an overall perspective. We have over 45,000 students. It's one of the largest colleges in Texas and definitely in the United States. People don't realize how big our college really is because we are divided in 5 different campuses. And so we have the central campus, which is where most of us have met, like Pasadena, La Porte, all this area. But we have the North Campus, like Gloria just mentioned, by Uvalde. And we have the South Campus that is in Beamer, a little closer to Pearland. Those are the largest campuses. Then also we have the Maritime Campus with very unique programs. And if you haven't visited our facilities, I will really encourage you to do so. They are state of the art. The building alone won an architectural prize, so it is very impressive. And we are having now the Edge Center for all the aerospace industry located by the Ellington Airport. So exploring a lot of drones, intuitive machines, and a lot of amazing technology in the aerospace industry. So it is very fascinating, the magnitude that our college covers in terms of not only the area, but all the topics and programs. And we are very supported by our local industry, which keep us really competitive. In these times of COVID, many colleges are really struggling, closing areas, closing campuses, letting professors go, and why not? We remain very strong, and we have our enrollment has gone down a little bit, but it remains very strong, and we haven't had to really let go anybody. So we are a very, very great college.
Agree.
All right, so
Next slide, please.
All right, so just overall, I'm not going to read the slide, but just to just share with you, and I know many of you already know, our college vision definitely is to advance the social and economic mobility of all our members of our community. We really look to really build careers. We don't want to get stuck in just finding a job, just real careers with very meaningful employment for everybody. We want to be recognized for the excellence in our teaching and learning. We have one of the best salaries for faculty that you find in the area. Ours are the best. So we frequently get faculty from other colleges and from other areas. It really is really great, even IB schools. So it is amazing. You are very student center support and committed to every student, and the fact that we're here today, and most of you know, we really are concerned about the wraparound services for our students, so they don't have to worry if they have food insecurities or any other difficulty. We manage to assist them. And we really want to be the preferred workforce and economic choice in our champions for lifelong learning, which is why we're here today. And next. So, and our mission obviously is we're completely focused on student success, ensuring that there is academic progress for everybody, university transfer and employment, but also, you know, enriching the quality of life in the communities that we serve. And we think a lot about this because when we talk about lifelong learning, and many of our community members are like retiring or in retirement age, learning continues, and many of us through age face new difficulties, so we have to learn new things to you know fill those gaps. And so our role here, for me, in my opinion, is so critical, because what we want to do is fill those gaps that we see in many of you. From your perspectives where you are, you get to see a lot more than we can possibly see. So yes, that's great. Next, a little bit about CPD. So CPD is continuing and professional development, but like Dr. James, our Vice Chancellor for CPD, says, she says it differently. She says collaboration pays dividends. That is CPD, collaboration pays dividends. And I believe that's definitely true. In everything that we do is possible thanks to collaboration with different partners in our community, amazing groups and organizations and team members like all of you. So that makes that possible. So within CPD, we have workforce development programs, we have adult basic education, and we have lifelong learning. And although lifelong learning touches a little bit of everything, we are going to be focusing mostly on those for this particular advisory committee. We have a variety of grants. In my area, I oversee the grants oversight. And just a heads up, there is a posting right now, a job posting, if you know anybody qualified. We are hiring for the new director of grants oversight for our area. It's a very key position. We have several grants with the Texas Workforce Commission and other organizations. And we really need somebody that is very good, great experience working with grants, being able to be out in the community, building partnerships and collaborating. We posted it yesterday and I'm very excited about it. And the posting is going to be open until February 15, when we are going to begin our interview process. So yes, so definitely we will be sharing the link and we will be sending the information if you know anybody, because this is very community heavily related, that position. Next. We have a variety of summer camps right now. We wish we had more, and this is part of what we're going to be talking about today, because you may know of other needs. But the summer camps, right now we have some like Energy Venture. This works mostly with NASA and other organizations. Well, Energy Venture works a lot with the petrochemical industry and those possibilities. And the Maritime Venture works heavily with the maritime programs in our Maritime Center. From robotics to everything we can explore in those camps. And the Pathways to the Stars is the one with NASA. So we covered several areas. Last year, because of COVID, we pretty much had to cancel all the summer camps that we had at the time because nobody could be on campus. We hope that this year we could have more on-campus camps. But it's also true that we want to explore a little bit the possibility of some hybrid classes. And so if that is the case, how will that be? Because I think most parents, when they think about summer camps, is, send the kid to this. So being at home, I think, presented some challenges from COVID, but you guys can share a little more of your perspective. And next, we also have, through our community education program, our first workshops through the community center. Many of you have participated in this, and if you haven't done so, we will be happy to host you to tell our community what you do and how they can participate in your activities, whether it is at the library or in your own private business or organizations. I'm very curious to learn from Jeffrey about the candy shop, and I think many people will be interested about that too. But in our free workshops, we have classes in wellness, nutrition, finance, health, and other leisure activities that pretty much are sponsored by local businesses or organizations, like the MD Anderson Cancer Center that frequently has a program on cancer prevention, Healthy Living Matters, or active living after cancer programs. They are very well attended and very successful. We have workshops on financial issues and issues like Medicare. Most people don't really know what Medicare really is, and there are many things out there that makes it confusing. So we have great speakers that talk about those topics, and sometimes people actually get clients there. I'm going to tell you, we have one great speaker is from an insurance company, and she has been fantastic directing the participants into what programs really make sense for you if you're in the Medicare program. And they have enrolled with her, and I want to share this that just happened. So one of the couples that was attending these workshops enrolled in Medicare with her right after we finished the workshop. And a week later, one of them got COVID-19 and have to be hospitalized, put in ventilator, all these things. If it wasn't because they were just in the Medicare program, it will have been a really catastrophic financial situation for them. But because they got the guidance of this instructor, they had it, and so even from the hospital they were calling her, thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you San Jacinto College, because we wouldn't have known this. And there are many things like, having personal care at home can be so extremely expensive. And if you have to do it like 24 hours, it's just almost impossible. But if you have the right choices and if you enroll on time, it's great. So we already have heard of wonderful stories, and that makes us very excited about bringing more programs. But what we need to keep in mind here is that, yes, we have the free workshops, but we have 3 sources of revenue, and that's why we're having these meetings. One are the open enrollment classes. Those are classes that are paid by the students. We try to make the fees as reasonable as possible, but our fee rate for faculty is $43 per hour. So we want to make it the same for all our faculty. It doesn't matter if you are teaching a yoga class or if you are teaching a chemistry class. We want to make sure that everybody is recognized for the education and preparation that they have had, so we keep the same. So what we need is enough students in certain classes to make sure that the class has happened. And that's, I'm thinking about Jeffrey, because I've been trying to have the Spanish class for so long. And every now and then I hear somebody, but we need a minimum of 6 students to really open a class to be able to pay the instructor. And we have the Spanish instructor ready. We actually have a Spanish class with one of our companies. That is the other way to do it. Sometimes it's a contract. So we have a contract. This time we are doing it with a manufacturing company that wants to ensure that everybody understands Spanish enough to explain safety issues to their employees. So they basically are paying our instructor to go on site to have these classes. So we talk about the open enrollment classes the student pays. The second option, the contracts from organizations or companies. And we have the option of the grants. So if we have grants, it will be the same. Like, let's say we think, or you guys see a need in our community, such as everybody should be learning to play golf for women. It's an opportunity to get, move up in the, the glass ceiling and all that. So breaking all those, golf is key. Let's say we determine that. And so if we do that, then probably we could write a grant and say, it's very important because women nowadays, they know that there are business talks in these golfing sessions and it's key to be there. Therefore, we need this money. So we can apply for grants. And so I would like to really encourage you to think about that, because if there is something that you see in your area that we could be doing, but we don't know where to get the resources, our area writes grants and we apply, so we could look for that. And the last one, well, I think those are the 3 sources of revenue, but the others are obviously the free classes. That is thanks to our partnership and collaboration with all the organizations. So we just create the means for everybody to meet. Okay.
Before
all right,
we move
Katie.
on, does anybody have, thank you, Dr. Sullivan. Does anybody have any questions for Dr. Sullivan or her team about all the great information she presented?
No. Okay.
Okay. Very clear. Okay. So I don't know if you guys have daily routines like mine, where unfortunately we're in virtual meeting after virtual meeting after virtual meeting, and with very little chance to really get up and stretch and do anything active. And so because of that, I always like to insert a little activity into every presentation I do that gives us a chance to just do a little something to get us moving and refocused on, the topic at hand. And so this is a very easy activity. You don't even have to get up from your seat, but I'm going to show you guys 3 slides. They're each going to have 2 different options, and you have to pick the option that you prefer. And again, we're tying it back to lifelong learning. So these are going to be lifelong learning options of things that you would like to learn if you could pick from one of these two, and you're going to do the physical activity that is listed above the item. And I'll do a demonstration before we have to get started so that you know what I'm talking about, because sometimes I'll write it out and people are like, I don't know what that means. So Ashley, if you don't mind, can you switch to the next slide, please? All right. So now we're going to talk about arts or crafts. So if you had the opportunity to take one of these two lifelong learning options, would it be arts or would it be crafts? So if you pick arts, you're going to take your hands and you're going to do 5. When I say go, you're going to do 5 hand clap for 5 seconds over your head. And if you prefer crafts, you're going to just do it in front of your chest. Okay, does that make sense? All right, I'm going to be looking at you to see how many people we have in one over the other. So okay. You can start now. Is it just us? Yes. 4, 5. Okay, I think it was about 50-50. I saw a lot of people doing the up and then the forward. So, okay. Let's go to the next one, please. Okay, so if we had to enhance our culinary skills, would you go for the baking class or the cooking class? If it's baking, you're going to stretch your arms out and just do arm circles. I don't know if you can see my full arms. And if you prefer cooking, you're just going to do neck circles, rotate for 5 seconds. Okay, you guys ready?
But gentle rotation, right? Nobody's going to
total rotation. And go. Okay. All right, I see neck, I see neck, I see some arm. All right, a couple bakers in there, 3 bakers, mostly cooking, yes. How many of you have heard the same thing? I heard it recently that apparently cooking is an art, but baking is a science. Anybody heard that? Oh. Which is why I always get baking wrong. Now it totally makes sense. Okay, we have one more for you. Ashley, please. Okay, so would it be photography classes or finance? And so if it's photography, you're just going to twist your torso for 5 seconds in either direction. And then if it's finance, you're going to do the arm stretch over your body in either direction. Okay, you guys ready? Go. All right, I see some arm to arm, mostly torso twists. All right, I'm afraid of finances, so I would never go to that class. All right, awesome. Thank you so much. I totally could have added more, but I was like, oh, I don't know. Take over the meeting with us. Okay, so this slide, I will preface, I do hate reading slides out loud, but I think this one is very important that we all focus on each individual bullet, because we want to make sure that you guys know exactly what you're getting into by agreeing to be a part of this advisory committee group. We want to make sure that we're open and transparent about the responsibilities and what we hope that that you'll be able to do as we continue meeting. So each advisory member is to become knowledgeable of the college and community engagement programs. This will primarily be, through presentations by Dr. Sullivan and her team, so that you guys are always abreast of any new things that are happening with the college. We'd want you to prepare for meetings. So if we send any documentation prior to the meetings, we would appreciate that you read and you know what we're going to be discussing during our meeting time. We also want to make sure that you are able to attend the meetings as scheduled. We know that it's not going to be possible to attend every meeting, but hopefully you can make most of them. At the end of today's meeting, we will be talking about your preference for meeting schedules and the frequency and times and things like that, okay? And we also want to make sure you feel comfortable participating in the discussions as we have them during the meeting. And it doesn't always have to be verbal. You have the chat feature, you have different options, but we want to make sure that your voice is heard and we give you that platform. We want you to be able to provide input regarding any issues that come before the committee, especially sharing any issues and things that you see in the community, because everything that you things that you see are what is going to help inform some of the decisions of the college about what to offer. We want your help evaluating goals and objectives of the program curricula, and those will all be shared with you. We want your help identifying local businesses and leaders who can provide support for some of these activities. And that's primarily why you guys are here. You are those businesses and leaders and partners that can help. assisting in the promotion of and publicizing these programs. This is really important because you guys are very trusted in your network. So we know that a person who would be seeing a promotion from you would probably be more likely to say, oh, San Jacinto College, as opposed to always hearing from the college. And then representing the needs of the community from special populations. So one thing Dr. Sullivan and the team and I talked about before this meeting is when we think about lifelong learning, it is a continuum and it does target all of the age groups that we've talked about. So when we're thinking about opportunities, we need to think about opportunities for youth in the summertime. We need to think about opportunities for seniors throughout the year. We need to think about opportunities for people with disabilities. So again, thinking about the community from a broad spectrum so that we're not only targeting the same types of individuals with our programming. Next slide, please. And before I turn it over to some brainstorming, does anybody have any questions about those responsibilities? Pretty straightforward. Okay. All right. So in the future, I've also been informed that we will have many opportunities as a group to do voting, especially as things come up from the group. Today is not going to be that meeting because it is our first and it's an introductory meeting. But we do want to make sure that, as Dr. Sullivan mentioned, that when we talk about proposing programs for this department, that we think about how do we enrich the quality of life in Pasadena? I think that needs to be the question at the forefront of all of the things that we're proposing, of the things we're seeing. And when we talk to community members, what is it that San Jacinto College lifelong learning unit could offer that would enrich the quality of life of the citizens of Pasadena and beyond, because we know you guys have students from way beyond the Pasadena community.
Right.
But just thinking about that is a good framework for when we start, brainstorming some ideas. Obviously, we already took notes of some of the things you talked about as individuals and things you want to learn. So those are other considerations, personal preferences can be listed as things. But really thinking about the individuals that you are working with, that you're supporting, what are things that could really enrich their lives that this, department could support with offerings. But thinking, broader than that too, knowing that revenue is something that the college does need to acquire as well. So, making sure that it's something we're proposing that people would that we would get at least 6 students for, right? I think Spanish would be a really good one. I honestly do think we could get the 6 students. I mean, we got at least 1, 2 here out of this group. But those are some things. So I don't know, Dr. Sullivan, was the intent for today's meeting to start throwing some ideas out, or is that more something you want us to come back to at the next meeting with?
Well, I think for me, the main goal today was to make sure that all of you guys are together and you understand your role in this committee, because I think the big brainstorming is going to happen after we leave this meeting and start kind of being aware of what we see and how we frame it from a program that could take place at San Jac. But if there are ideas today, that would be great, because many of you may be thinking while we were talking on this. One thing I want to make sure all of you guys are here today. So this advisory committee meeting is run by you guys. So Katie is our chair. And at some point we will be selecting a co-chair. It could be done today or in the next meeting. But so in case Katie cannot be for some reason or something, there is always a backup. But mostly the understanding that you are the core and you are the voting members. Any of us that work at San Jacinto College, we're listening. We're listening to your advice, and we are going to respond to your questions regarding our programs, but we don't have voting rights. And so anybody from the college could participate in the future. So my guess is in the next meetings, you will see more people participating, because this is open to the community. Anybody can come and join us. But the only voting members are all of you guys. Jeffrey, Stephanie, Justin, Arlene, Lieutenant Louis, and Raul, and Jamila, pretty much. So you, under the direction of Katie, will be, approving or disapproving things, and that will be key for us to create programs. There are programs we haven't mentioned today that we have mentioned at some point, ideas such as travel, like fishing, like some could do some fishing at Kima or something, or how to ride a boat. But so there are other ideas. It's just COVID created some particular challenges, and so now with the travel and all that is different. But what other ideas are there that will be engaging? And I think travel is one of those things that actually many of us like to do, that seniors truly enjoy too. Um, so just keep that in mind. In the future, there may be more people participating just to listen. Sometimes they may have some comments, but as far as we're concerned, you are the voting members, and Katie can, and you guys can make a decision. If somebody is not behaving in something, they may not be there, then that could happen too. But we are here to respond, and we from San Jac are here to listen to you, because you guys are the ones that can give us guidance. Sometimes we create programs that those classes don't make, so that tells me we are not listening. And COVID has made things a little bit harder for education and lifelong learning.
Thank you, Dr. Sullivan. Yes, so we will leave you with homework, which will be to come prepared for our next meeting with thoughts and ideas that we can, as a group consider, vote on, get, some feedback from the staff as to whether that's something that's ever been offered before, and has it worked, has it not worked, things like that. Yes, Jeffrey.
So just thoughts and ideas on
Yes.
programming.
Yes.
But okay, just to make sure. Okay.
And if you have ideas today, we will be happy to start answering some questions, like if you say ballroom dancing, like somebody mentioned, has that happened at the college? What happened with it? So today, if you have a few ideas, I would love to say where we are and if we have ever tried. And I would love to try something that you suggest today and tell you next meeting. I already have in my mind Spanish, because many of you already mentioned it, and so that'll
What
be
about? Oh, my apologies for. What about entrepreneurial programs, from encouraging students like myself, for example? I don't think people realize enough how much our future is in the hands of our amazing youth right now. Look at that lovely young lady who read that poem at 22 years old at the inauguration. I mean, talk about inspiring, but that's a whole other story. But I'm just talking about some sort of program or course, whether it's a semester or whatever it is, that teaches about entrepreneurial spirit, about writing a plan, a business plan, all those kinds of things. I'm assuming you've done business plan stuff before. I can't imagine that you haven't, but almost something that encourages students who have ideas and to get it out and put it out there, and how to farm it out to potential investors or who, whatever they want to do, or however they want to do it.
I completely agree and echo with Jeffrey, just because, I didn't put finance as something to learn because I live and breathe it 24/7. So I figured, let me learn something new with Photoshop, right? Or photography. But I agree. And I will tell you, it was so, wonderful to transition to the virtual world. I feel like we need to just be open-minded and allowing the resources to be out there for people on a virtual platform. I have a lot, I have a whole library, Laura. I've done so many with Laura's banking program, and we have the Step Up on the small business side, where, what I like to always do is bring the experts in the banking industry of different lines of businesses, so that the entrepreneurs are asking, what are the bankers looking at? What is a business plan? How do I build credit? How do I, do I really need 2 separate bank accounts? So I have that. And I'll let Stephanie continue, because she's, and I'm for it. So yeah, thanks, Jeffrey.
Thanks.
On that note, I work with the youth. We have a youth council, youth advisory council, And that's one of the things that they want to learn is, how do I write a check? How do I, so those are the things that they ask for when we, you know, throw out there, hey, is there a certain presentation you guys want to learn? They're off, the list was a mile long of ideas that they haven't learned. So yes, I'm all for, I totally get that. There's a lot that some of them don't even know how to book a doctor's appointment. You know,
And
just the
just
simple things like that.
And just so you know, when I say entrepreneurial, I am sorry about the dog. It's always the mailman time. Like, work from home life, right? So I don't, and I said youth, but there's also, I'm 46 years old and I just started this 2 years ago. So I know that there is what quote unquote traditional and non-traditional students. I hate all those terms, to be honest with you. A student is a student, no matter what age it is, or what age they are, excuse me. So I just want to make sure I clarify that I'm not trying to be ageist in any way, because I'm older. So, you know,
well, and the modules that I've done, or the workshops that I've facilitated, I've had, I mean, the same workshop that I've facilitated to a junior achievement, which is typically high school, I facilitated to, you know, adults, young adults, you know, people starting out. I mean, I give you props, Jeffrey, that you took your passion and started your business. That's awesome. You know, so yeah, I'm a big
scary.
Yeah, and it's very scary, but you need the resources to be able to direct you and guide you and all that. And I love that, you know, we have that for the community.
And what I'm going to do is take this experience, is because I didn't go after money from banks or from lenders. I'm doing this on my own. I'm doing it grassroots. I can't afford, I don't want to take out money. And I want to take all this experience of finding things that work and don't work and pass this knowledge onto students, onto whoever that I can, to help them, because I love to mentor. It's fun. So.
And I just want to acknowledge Arlene. Arlene and BBVA have been out to our community center and conducted these financial literacy workshops. So,
and no offense to BBVA, Arlene, it's not that I don't want to get money from y'all. I'm just, I don't want to go into any more debt, you know.
But you know, Jeffrey, when you mentioned this, just when you said not necessarily you, I know what you mean. You mean new. I mean, it doesn't matter the age. There are many new entrepreneurs and they really need to learn this. It doesn't matter. And so I think it's great. Now, in terms of entrepreneurship, we have within the workforce development area, entrepreneurship, but that's very structured. And what I'm hearing here is more a daily living situation, how you get to it. And that could be beginning in lifelong learning, and those that want to do something more specific, then get into the business part. So it will be like a pathway from how do you write your own check, or how do you start doing certain things. But if you want something more, you can get to this, to the point that if you want to actually take an economics or finance class on the credit side, you can do it. But it will be building up from at least making sense of what we have. And I know many of us, you know, probably don't know how to do taxes and things like that in general. So very basic of personal, being ready for everything. And we will have to probably come up with a very good name of what will be the title of that course. That way it's not a competition with already the business area, but it makes clear that it's that strong foundation of daily dealing with financial matters.
Could that work as a summer camp for youth?
That'll be fabulous.
How to start your own business. You know, start your own business.
Yeah.
My 10-year-old daughter just started making earrings with the plan that she's going to be an earring design maker.
Wonderful.
And you guys work with SCORE, don't you? Does this college work with SCORE?
Through the small business development, we have a small business development center.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, because I work with somebody with SCORE who's helping me right now also. So that's why I'm just saying there's ways to bring a lot of people together.
Right.
And just, yeah.
And I'll connect you with our small business center. Jeffrey.
Thanks, Laura.
Yeah, I wanted to make a comment on the, will we be able, because I saw some of the pictures that you showed about some of the past lifelong learning classes that y'all do every week. could we kind of like get a basic demographics data on who's attending those courses? Because to get an idea of where you're getting your participation from, because the reason I ask is because there have been some classes that I'm interested in, but I'm working right now. So technically, I was considering maybe after I retire to stay active as something to be able to learn something new. When you call it lifelong learning, that goes along with what I believe in, because to be able to combat Alzheimer's, because that's what I keep hearing, that as long as you keep your mind active and always learning, that's one way to be able to combat that. And so, but I worked at San Jac in 2017 in the iConnect Center the whole year. And also I did attend classes back in 2011 to get an occupational certificate in sound engineering in the recording studio that y'all have. It's being remodeled. I think it's supposed to be rededicated once it's finished. And one of the things that I didn't like, to be honest with you, is to attend, if for something like this, is for parking. Go park. You end up parked far away, especially when it's close to your most high attended hours from your student population. So you kind of get stuck kind of far away, and you have to walk and try to find a place. And so that I'm just trying to say that to me seemed like for me, it discouraged me from going. But one of the things that I would love to see, that I'm hoping that maybe in the future, is a satellite campus somewhere in to be able to be embedded in our community. And this type of classes would be great, because if you had at a satellite, you had like an auditorium with technology where you can bring professors training on a video screen, and they can interact with the class, and also have meeting rooms and where you have your classes. But then you would also have an area for the college to, like a one-stop, you get all your information for prospective students. So that would be a great opportunity to be able to let them know these career paths and educational paths that they can then go to the 3 main campuses and further their education. So that's I'm getting off my soapbox, but I have all 3 of my children graduated from San Jac and got their associate's degree at Central Campus, and they moved on to U of H, Clear Lake. My youngest is currently there. So he's the last one, and then I'm free financially. He's out of my pocket. And so
Raul's counting down those days.
Oh, big time. I told my son when he graduated from university, I'm making a big party. It's going to be for me. Okay. Thank you.
Great.
Oh, go ahead.
So on that, I think it's great. And I think if we make our programs grow enough that we could have that satellite for lifelong learning in some areas will be great. But in the meantime, what works so nice is, partnerships like Justin with the library, that eventually we could host some of those classes there. And I'm just throwing you right there, Justin, on this. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, by all means, talk about that as much as you want. We have been dying to get ESL, GED, immigration classes here at the library. I mean, our meeting room is currently closed for COVID, but once we open back up again, anything you want to host, please, I beg, please come here.
Yes.
We will, whatever we got to do, we will do it.
Perfect.
Justin is great at promoting the library and the space and just everything. He really is. So, and I have a question, because I was going to ask about another program, but I feel like I'm going to just keep asking, and I'm going to ask it, but then I was hoping that you all can send us a list of all the programs. So we're not saying there, what's this, because some of us, we're new to you all in a way, if you will. So maybe we should all have a list of what certificates, associate, whatever it is that you have, so we can read it and educate ourselves completely on the school. But do you all have a diversity certificate or diversity as a program, some sort of diversity and inclusion program as well? And I don't mean an education for the faculty and staff about understanding, but as a certificate or an associate's or whatever it is. That's
Right.
something y'all offer.
So, I'm going to check because you're right. I think we have many diversity classes and why not, but they are embedded within, the college or for faculty. But one that will be open to everybody of equity, inclusion, diversity, that'll be a great one. So I'm going to get back on you on that one. I'm also going to make sure that all of you guys get a copy of our catalog so you know what we are offering. And I'll let you know which classes we are actually making and which ones we have to cancel. Mostly because of COVID or why not. So you get an idea of how we are doing. Right now, we don't have many lifelong learning classes happening. We used to have motorcycle riding within lifelong learning. That has moved more into transportation. And some of those classes are taking place, transportation, road driving, and why not. But within lifelong learning, really, we don't have much going on. We have offered, as I said, sometimes with questions about languages like Chinese and Spanish and some French, but we haven't had enough students. So probably we could work more on building those up. The music classes we have offered in the past. This year we have more restrictions because of COVID. We cannot have students like we used to have that they could just go to the classrooms where we have pianos and guitars and all that within the music department. So they have become more strict on only for those that are doing classes for credits so they can move forward. Usually are students that really want to move in a 4-year degree program at a university with some musical real career interest. But for those of us that just want to play piano or guitar or something, it has become more challenging. So this is an opportunity to really build those resources. And I know that Lieutenant Villanueva, you mentioned that you have a lot of musical expertise. So it will be great to know where we could find some instructors. So that's another thing I will encourage you. If you know people that could be our instructors, I'll be really happy to engage them in our program. Any of you could actually, be teaching a class here in education and lifelong learning. They are a little more, we are not as strict as a college credit class because we know it's only for this type of learning for leisure. As long as you know the sufficient expertise, you can demonstrate that you know it and that you have the ability to teach it, and we can prepare you for that. But we lack some instructors. We recently lost our photography instructor, so right now I'm really looking for one. We have a nice photography equipment, and it has been one of those classes that people ask for a lot, and we used to have students. So I'm looking for an instructor in that area. And that, so then when I send you the list, you will see which, like, cooking classes, dancing classes, fitness classes, what type of classes, and that will assist. So I will be sending this to you soon. That way, next meeting, you will be more prepared. But I think, Katie, you were going to ask when do you guys think we will be the next meeting?
Yeah. And Arlene, I like your question about expectations of us as an advisory group and our goals. That is something that we were talking about prior to this meeting as well. And we will try to draft them, as simply and concretely as possible to send out to you guys as well, because that will be another thing that I'm sure, you would appreciate before deciding if this is something that you want to commit to from this point on. So we'll make sure that you guys have that as well. I think in addition to the responsibilities, we do want to be mindful and respectful of your time, knowing that you all have probably a million other things going on. So we do want to ask, for meetings going forward, knowing that this work is so important to this department, how often do you feel is enough, it is doable for you and your schedule? Is it something that you feel that we could meet on a monthly basis, on a bi-monthly basis, or on a quarterly basis? I know some of the departments Within San Jacinto College, their advisory committees meet quarterly, but they operate a little differently because it's more for an update kind of thing. You know, they need to update their advisory committee, whereas I think this group can play more of a supporting role to this and helping, you know, to guide the direction and provide input from what we see and what we think would be beneficial to lifelong learning. So it's totally up to you. If you want to throw out a suggestion and we'll see how the rest feel about it.
I mean, I don't think monthly, once a month is so horrible, but I mean, that's just, I mean, if you want to make an impact sooner than later, you want to meet more often, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
If we're all here and if we accepted your invite to this, I would think we would understand there's a commitment that we need to make, but that's, you know,
I'm glad you feel that way.
I was just going to add, and I agree. I mean, monthly is great. I mean, pretty much all my boards or volunteer opportunities, committee meetings that I'm a part of meets monthly. I do, I think I remember seeing the presentation that y'all would y'all send something prior to our meetings, like maybe like an agenda or minutes from the previous meeting so that we can review it, so that we can go over it. And I think if that is the case and you want to run this group, I feel like it, you know, once a month and communicating via electronic format prior, maybe even every 2 weeks or something like that would not be bad. Even if it's just an email and then we meet monthly to discuss like that first goal that you want to see for us to have that homework and come, you know, to meet.
All right.
And then maybe send a whether it's a Google Doc or I'm losing the word right now, but a survey,
the doodle poll.
A survey for the date and the time or what day of the week, like that. Yeah, thank you. Apparently I'm not very eloquent tonight. So, yeah.
All right, so in true committee fashion, I hear Jeffrey proposed the monthly, Arlene seconded. Everyone is agreeing. Say aye. I don't hear any aye.
Oh, aye. That's wonderful.
Some are muted. That's what you don't hear them, Katie.
All right. Thank you. First time I've ever done that. It was fun. Okay, so then our next steps are we're going to send you guys all a doodle poll that will ask for your preference in week of the month, day of the week, and then times that you prefer. So morning or afternoon. And then we'll take it from there. And then we'll make sure that at least, if possible, 2 weeks prior to those meetings, we'll send out the documentation for review, you know, minutes and things like that. So that way we have plenty of time to prepare for that following meeting.
And then lastly, once the date and time is kind of agreed upon, if you will, you'll send like a year-long calendar invite or something like that. Cool. I live my life by my calendar, considering I do so many things. So that's
same here.
Yeah.
All right. And then I did see in the chat that Arlene was kind enough to discuss the possibility of being the co-chair.
I second that.
So we can do that offsite, offline.
We could talk about it, you know, I just want to know what I would be agreeing to, but I don't mind. I don't mind.
No, literally, Arlene, it would be running this the months that I just can't do it. That's it. Yeah. All right. Does anybody have any other questions? Dr. Sullivan, Laura, team, do you guys feel comfortable that we accomplished what you were hoping we would accomplish today?
Absolutely. I am really delighted to see all the enthusiasm and interest. And I know we can have, you know, a great program that will really truly serve our community. Thank you so much for your interest. And I'm very excited about the monthly meetings. I think that's a phenomenal option. So we will really get on target on this. Thank you for, some of you have sent me already some leads about faculty. So I'll be happy to I'm going to also send you the link. So when you see somebody that could be a faculty member for the program, they can apply to that through that link. Let me know they have applied and I go there because it's a pool. So it's not something I'm reviewing every day, but if somebody tells me I already applied, I will go and we can go through the process.
And one last thing I'd
And
like to say, because I'm never shy for words, as you can tell. I don't know if the Sanjak is a member or somehow a part of the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, but I host a monthly networking event at the last Tuesday of every month there. And I'd love for somebody from Sanjak, and any of you can join, by the way, but they will call you afterwards to become a member, just so you know.
Great.
But any one of you can join. I host this monthly, but it might be another way to get information out there about Sanjak, and you can be a guest on that networking event. I put the link in the chat box for y'all.
Oh,
It's free, by the way. So let me preface it. It's free to come. So
fantastic. So thank you,
It's
Jeffrey.
not bad,
Yes.
Jeffrey. It's good.
Yes. And we would love to do that and come and talk about the programs that we have.
And that stands for anybody here, by the way, in your business and whatever that you do too. Guests are always welcome. So, and especially Salvation Army, I know y'all do so much in the entire, well, all over the country. So, but, you know, so anyway, that's it. I'll mute myself now.
That is wonderful. So, Katie, so I think just wrapping up, I think we have some very good tasks on our hands, and I've been sending you some information so we can move forward.
So please, you guys have 1 month to think of some wonderful suggestions of things that the college can offer. I know I already talked to Dr. Sullivan, you know, being a mom of 2 children, having to deal with this virtual school is not fun. I'm like, tutoring, we need online tutoring for these kids, and, you know, Harry Potter camps and all these things that they can do that they won't be, you know, bugging me during my meeting. So, oh, see, there you go. So without further, if you guys have no other questions, we're gonna adjourn a little bit early while I have the 5-year-old asking me for snacks. So it was a pleasure meeting some of you today and seeing a lot of old friends, and I look forward to our next meeting. And please, you know, we will stay tuned for the email with our doodle polls and next steps. So thank you guys so much for your enthusiasm and willingness to be a part of this group.
Have a sweet weekend, everybody.
Oh,
yeah, you too.
Bye.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Have a good weekend. Bye, everyone.
Blessings. You too.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, Gloria. So this was phenomenal. I think we have a fantastic group. I'm very pleased. Great choices. Laura, thank you for sending those invites out. I know with them we can do a lot, and they are true leaders in our community. They can really make it happen. So I'm very excited for the future of lifelong learning right here. So thank you all of you for, you know, supporting this event. I'm so happy to see you before our weekend. Enjoy and see you on Monday. Bye.